I'm sure that that hellfire has come to pass, and that Satan himself actually rose years ago, and his name is Alex Jones. I think
Ah,
Alex
man.
Jones is being outed as the actual devil um, in
This
his
is some,
trial, in his Sandy Hook trial, because he was being sued for defamation, right?
yes, for accusing his parents of faking the deaths of their children.
Right.
And it was really just an awful, like, what's wrong with this person? And it's interesting, his ex-wife hates him so much. Like, she even calls herself the whistleblower, and she
Really?
said, she said he's, yes, she said he's a racist, and she's been very loud about this. And it's just, what a world, right? But yeah, so the Alex Jones thing right now, the story of the moment, as we revisit this Sandy Hook tragedy, is that his lawyers allegedly accidentally sent like 2 years of text messages to the what is it,
The like the prosecution, or like kind of like
prosecution.
the
Yeah,
plaintiff
yeah.
lawyers. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
the
Like,
plaintiff. Yeah, I'm trying to get the plaintiff defense working or
right, right.
wording right. But to the plaintiff lawyer. So they were just sent all this information and that he had lied
Accidentally.
about accidentally, allegedly. And yeah, and so that's the latest thing. And he's just, you see him on in court, like really like kind of stuttering, like just trying to
uh,
make it make sense. And it's like, this never made sense.
well,
But you
what's
were the
crazy
one
is
that told me
that,
how much money you were the one that told me how much money he was making a day spreading misinformation.
800K at its high
That's
point
so
in
crazy.
2018, he was making $800,000 a day on
That's crazy.
Infowars, right?
That's
So
so
I
crazy.
feel like he just became like the rallying point for every like doomsday prepper, conspiracy
Hmm.
theorist, bigot, like anyone who had any beliefs like that, they just gravitated
Yeah.
straight for him, and like he used that as his canard. He was very much early and often in YouTube conspiracy land, but then
Yeah.
in addition to that accidental leak from his lawyers, and this is why I think he truly is evil, and even people like who would choose to defend him for a fee were like, all right, this is
Hmm.
enough. Is
Yeah.
when he sent the information, when they sent the information to the complainant. So basically, like, the lawyers have to do something that's called what's the name of it? I think it's like review. I believe it's a very simple term, like review. So they get to review the other side's like evidence and all their exhibits. And like when they submitted for review Alex Jones's Infowars site, they found child pornography. They found child pornographic
Wow.
images, right? And so I think
Wow.
between like the child pornography, the probably vile messages that
Hmm.
stream in his comments and the exchanges he had, and probably the things that he was telling his lawyers too about what he said or didn't say. I think his lawyers just got fed up and was like, yeah, we already got the bag, we already got paid.
Yeah,
This
that's
guy
possible.
shouldn't be out in the world, and sabotaged him, because I don't see how you leak or you like accidentally CC your
I
opponent
don't
with that
understand. I mean,
amount of
are
records.
you? I mean, well, then again, there's a lot of really low tech people out there. Like, to
Yeah,
date, I've had to help people, like people that are not old, set up emails. So,
yeah, that's true.
yeah,
No, that's
yeah,
real.
it's entirely possible that an attachment. I've definitely been in some reply all exchanges that were spicy as I don't know what,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, that's true. It could have been.
I just think we're just dealing with it, but because I mean, to even represent him in the first place, like, it's one thing just taking the bag, like, hey, I know he's going to pay us, and it's like some sort of guarantee. Then there's this also like, yo, this is just, I want to be removed from this. I don't want anything to do with it, and sabotaging the case in that sense doesn't make you look better than someone who would choose to have the integrity not to take him on as a client at all.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, are you saying that like Alex Jones's lawyers had Hotmail addresses?
Yeah, yeah, like they came from like
The
hotmail.com,
legal
but
eagle
like
7547.
no, probably the same ones that they had like prior to even being in law school.
Right.
So it's like Skater Buddy 25, and then at Hotmail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that that's a possibility too, and I agree that they don't redeem themselves by
Uh,
sabotaging, even if they had. I think Alex Jones is not the exception that proves the rule, but the rule. And I think he shows just how dangerous social media platforms are,
Yes,
because like
for sure.
it's not like he didn't create the interest, and he also didn't create the platforms. He was just like, yo, how can
Right.
I use the features of these platforms to gain the largest audience? And I think a lot of these platforms are built for that.
I think it's yes. And people underestimate or sometimes don't even realize how much money you can generate by just simply operating on agenda, even if you just didn't believe in the nonsense that you were saying. And I feel like a lot of these people, I'm actually not even speaking about Alex Jones right now. I think we're talking
Mm,
about somebody that's like, that's something else. But there are some of these people that just really, really concentrate on having a day-to-day so-called take, like that ridiculous colorism take that we were talking about. But there
right.
are people that will create these very high gloss videos and will make those statements and make it seem so real. And
Hmm.
that kind of propaganda or information becomes very, very popular, especially when it has that when it's well written
Yeah.
or when it looks good. So that's
Yeah.
what's dangerous. And then we're not even in a world now where many people even like read any kind of legitimate journalist or news source. People aren't interested in bylines. Like I know The Economist doesn't concentrate on bylines, but like the general public doesn't necessarily have a favorite author, that they
Right.
particularly are tuned in a lot of cases. They just because they're not reading true journalism. And
Right.
then when it comes to like even like YouTube and things like that, we were talking at some point about like streaming and the streaming era and like what's
Hmm.
happening right now, because I think we're entering another phase with this. And people just are consuming content however it comes. Like there are people, even like myself, where like I just kind of go to YouTube and I pick out what I'm interested in. I don't necessarily have to be watching it coming from like one of the top 3 or 4
No,
networks.
no, not
Yeah.
at all.